Thank you for joining me for Business Studies Grade 11. I'm Mr. Jonas. Right guys, previously, if you still remember, we are still continuing with our topic, production function, which is part of our business operations. Right, previously we spoke about systems, the different production systems that we have, and also we spoke about production planning, different planning that we have. We spoke about planning, routing, and also spoke about aspects for production control. Right, today we want to deal with the rest of the stuff that is left here, which is the safety management as well as quality control and production cost. Right, those are the things that we are going to focus on mainly on today's lesson. Right, so what I'll do is I'll break down the videos into smaller pieces. I will do the video for safety management, video for quality control, and video for production cost, so that we can understand them better, and also you can be able to play them at different times. Right, so going down, please remember this part is what you really need to know about all those things that I was talking about. You need to know about safety, you need to know reasons why business must manage safety, you need to know the requirements for safe environment, and recommending ways in which precautionary measures that businesses should take when handling machines. Then after that also we talk about health, Occupational and Health Safety Act, right, which is another law that has been put in place by the government to control the safety of workers in the workplace. Right, and then later on we spoke about also quality. Right, so I have made some notes for you guys. I've combined them. I'll give you by the end of the lesson. I'm also going to send you the notes. Please read them thoroughly and make sure that you use them together with the videos so that you can understand, guys, what is on those notes, so that you don't just repeat or regurgitate those notes into your activities that you'll be writing. You need to understand them first. Please listen to these videos, understand this work before you attempt any activity there. Is that okay? If you attempt any activity, please make sure that you don't use your notes, so that you can train yourself to see if you really know what you are doing or you're still lacking somewhere else. Okay, let's start with safety management. Also, safety management, guys, we're talking about making sure that the environment where workers are working is safe and it's healthy. Is that okay? That's safety management. So you are managing the workplace environment. You are managing the environment where employees are working and ensuring that that environment or that workplace is safe and it's health and it's clean. There are no dangers, there are no harms, there's nothing there that can cause any problems to the business or to the employees. Right. So what are the reasons why we should manage safety in workplace? We need to promote the wellness of both the employees and employers. The wellness of workers and the wellness of the employers is very important in the business, because that's exactly where the business gets its money from. Business gets money from how employees are working in the business. So so the business should care for the wellness of the employees. Also, to protect the employees from danger, of course, when they are working, to make sure that they don't actually encounter any danger, any harm, or get exposed to any hazardous chemicals or anything that can cause damage or that can cause injuries to them. Right, and that will actually lead to a lot of problems. Right, so in other words, when you're managing safety, you are trying to reduce problems or to eliminate problems actually in the workplace from happening, because those problems or those accidents, if they happen, they might cost the business a lot of money. Remember, if somebody gets injured, the business has to pay for the medical bills and has to compensate them, and has to still pay salaries for that person. So those are a lot of money, those are a lot of costs that you have to incur now if somebody gets injured at workplace. Therefore, it's very important for the business to manage safety in the workplace, and also to increase productivity and to motivate employees. Also, it makes employees satisfied. Employees, they get satisfied and they feel protected when you manage the safety in the workplace, because they know that you care for them. They know that no matter how they are working, they are still safe. they are safe from conducting any dangers. They are far away from harm and danger, right? So what are the requirements for safe environment in the workplace? There should be a safety policy. It's very important. That's the first thing that is very important there, safety policy, right? So it's a very big requirement for a safe environment. There should be a policy, and we'll talk about the policy, what should be in the policy later on, right? Also, warning signs. In the business, there should be warning signs. You know, all those different kind of warning signs, right? Sign that says danger, or that says stop, that says no entry, that says this is a fire extinguisher. All those kind of signs, they are very important because they highlight and they will help you to see how you can manage anything, if there are any dangers, and also where are you supposed to go if there are any dangers. All those exit points and those signs that you put, they are very important, right? Also, another requirement is the first aid kit should always be there on the site where employees are working, and it should be easily accessible, meaning that whenever a danger happens, then that kit should be easily retrieved and used so that they can assist any employees who get injured, right? Another requirement for a safe environment is there should be a person who is trained for first aid kit on every site that the employees are working. They cannot go and work and there's nobody who knows how to use the first aid kit, right? And also the workplace should be free from any hazardous substances or any dangerous substances that could cause damages or injuries or diseases to employees, right? So how are you going to make sure that they're free from that? You can provide them with protective clothing or relevant clothing, so that they can make that clothing that can prevent employees from contracting any diseases or get injured or any damage, right? Also, employees should be informed of any dangers in the workplace. You should tell employees every area where there are any dangers, or every area whereby there are any problems or their potential dangers, so that employees can become aware of them and they can avoid those places, or they can actually make sure that they actually approach those places with care and with care, sorry, right? Okay. And also another requirement is employees should be made aware of any potential safety and health hazards that were placed. It's more or less the same as what I was saying. Also, the last thing is information should be given to employees and instructions and training about dangers in the workplace. You also give them information and training about what to do when there's danger in the workplace, and also give them training about how to deal with any danger or any injuries in the workplace, right? These are requirements for a safe environment, right? After that, also you need to know the precautionary measures that business should take when employees are handling machines, right? Especially this applies to most manufacturing businesses, whereby they use a lot of heavy machines, and those machines, most of them, they're dangerous. Forklifters, those machines, they're dangerous, they're pointy, they can cause serious damages, they can even death, they can kill. We have those fan belts, we have all those fan belts, they're so fast and they're so sharp, they can cut your hand, right? So all those are the tools that they use. They are very sharp, they are very dangerous. So there should be measures that should be put in place to make sure that when employees are handling those machinery, or if they're handling that equipment, they do that with care and they can avoid injuries and harm and any hazardous problems, right? So the first thing that they should do, the first measure that business should do, is to make sure that employees should be well trained to operate the machine. You cannot give employees who are not trained to operate a machine. If they're not trained to operate a forklift, they should not use a forklift. They should be trained how to use it. If possible, actually get a certificate for it, so that you make sure that the person who is operating is well qualified and know how to use it. And also using manuals should be available all the time of how to operate certain machinery and certain equipment, so that if they're stuck or if there's any problem, they know what to do. And also, employees should not be allowed, remember, they should not be allowed to operate a machine if they are so tired and if they are under any, or if they're taking any medication that can interfere with their ability to use that machine. There are some people who can, if after using taking medication, they feel dizzy, or they feel sleepy, or they get tired, they cannot do anything. So those kind of employees, you cannot please force them to use a machine, because it's dangerous. They use a machine and then they become dizzy while they're using a machine, and things can go wrong. So it's very important. They are not allowed to use that machine. Right. Also, employees should wear protective clothing or relevant clothing when operating machines. Right. So that's why you see some people, when they're doing welding, they wear this other face mask to prevent all those sharp lighting things to enter their eyes and stuff, to protect them. So they should wear protective clothing. You've seen mining industry, those people also are doing mining, they wear overalls, they wear gumshoes, they wear helmets and stuff like that, so that they can protect themselves against any dangers, right? And hard hats, they're very important, especially for construction sites. They should wear hard hats. Those helmets, they are very hard and they can prevent any injuries for the head, right? And all the machinery and all the equipment in the business that is used should be regularly checked and serviced, right, to make sure that they are operating smoothly and there's no problem there, right? And employees should be trained and given guidance when new machines are installed, right? New machines doesn't mean that you just give them to operate them. Please train them also on how to use those new machines. New machines is new technology, is different from old technology, so therefore they need new training. Even though they know how to use a forklift, another forklift that you might buy is more advanced than the old one, so therefore new training should be done to make sure that those employees actually are aware of how to use it, right? After that, also you need to know about the Occupational Health and Safety Act, right? Occupational Health and Safety Act is a law that has been put in place by the South African government to ensure that, actually with the aim to provide health and safety of employees at workplace and during the use of plants and machinery. So the purpose of this law, remember you've done different laws before, né? So I'm sure now you are aware of laws. The main purpose of this law is to provide health and safety let me start again about that. The main aim of the Occupational Health and Safety Act is to ensure that employees at workplace are protected in terms of their health and in terms of their safety, right, from any dangers. So occupational health and safety, it gives guidelines and it gives what the business should do in order to comply with the Health and Safety Act. So those guidelines, if the business follow them, then it means employees will be safe and employees will actually be able to be free from dangers or from any problems and accidents, right? So this act also, this law, it outlines the roles and responsibilities of what the employer is supposed to do the business, as well as what the employees are supposed to do in the workplace. It does not mean that all the employer or the business is the only one that is supposed to provide safety and health environment. Even the employees, they have some responsibilities of what they are supposed to do. They are supposed to make sure that they are trained well. They must make sure that they are careful and they are cautious. They're cautious whenever they're handling the machines. They must make sure that they are wearing protective clothes before handling any machinery, right? So those are the things that they're supposed to do. Is their responsibilities and rules. And also the act requires that also the main dangers of the workplace be identified and eliminated. If there are any dangers at workplace, they should be identified and eliminated. How do you eliminate them? Make sure that maybe no employees should enter those dangerous places, or actually make sure that those places are not there at all in the workplace, right? It also requires that employees are expected to cooperate and follow instructions, right? So employees also, in terms of this law, they are supposed to cooperate. They're supposed to cooperate with the business, as well as they're supposed to follow instructions that they're given by the business, and they're supposed also to report any situations that are not safe. so that those situations can be dealt with properly and in time before they actually get themselves into danger. Right. How can business comply with this act or with this law? What is the business supposed to do so that they can actually adhere to this law or Occupational Health and Safety Act? The business should develop and distribute health and safety policies. We spoke about this policy before again, remember? So it's very important. So the business should have a health and safety policy. We talk about the policy now, right? And also the business should review the existing health and safety procedures and equipment and the staff training. They should constantly review actually the procedures that they are using, if they are working properly. The equipment, they should always review, doing servicing and checking it regularly, and training staff almost every time about health and safety to make sure that people are always safe and the workplace is always safe, right? Also, the business should appoint a health and safety officer, a person who is personally responsible for the health and safety of employees and the workplace at large, right? So these are things that business is supposed to do to comply with the act. And also they are supposed to maintain an accident register. So there should be a register. Guys, I think you know from the school, usually whenever an incident happens, we take whatever, let's say a child gets injured, we take them to the office, we record information on what happened and stuff. It's an accident register whereby we record every accident, and actually that accident will be analyzed and dealt with management later on, right? And there should be a committee, actually a health and safety committee, a committee that is responsible for the health and safety at workplace, for the safety of employees, and make sure that the environment is health and safe also for employees. That committee will be dealing with anything that deals with health and safety, right? Also, the business should obtain copies or any practices from the Department of Labor about health and safety, or any new things that come by. They should be able to obtain those copies and update their documents regularly. This is how you as a business comply with health and safety at workplace, right? Moving on, guys, right? We have also, what are the purposes of workplace safety policy? I've been talking about safety policy. Here I said if the business should have a safety, health and safety policy so that they can comply with the law, and also on top, if you remember, it was also part of the requirements of a safe environment. If you want to have a safe environment, a safe working environment, you should have a health and safety policy, right? What is the purpose of the policy? The purpose of the policy is to stipulate or to identify or to mention conditions, precautions and procedures that are related to its business and the equipment. So the health and safety policy, in other words, it just states what are the conditions and what are the measures that are put in place to make sure that the environment is safe and the workplace is healthy, right? Also, the safety policy is there to prevent and to reduce any work-related accidents. How does it reduce and prevent? Because it provides precautions, it provides ways and procedures. Procedures just means ways in which how you're supposed to handle machines, how you're supposed to do your work properly without causing any accidents. And also, it ensures that the business complies with Occupational Health and Safety Act. We spoke about it now. And also, it shows and it expresses the commitment by the business, isn't it, about health and safety of employees. Right. So if you go to a business and if you can see that the business, they have a policy about health and safety, it shows that that business is committed to providing a safe and health working environment, because actually they have a policy on how they are supposed to do it. Right. That's what we mean by the last point there. Right. So what must be included in the health and safety policy? Guys, just go through this. It's quite easy. It's a lot. Just know any few ones. Description of the business, should know about the policy date, when was it, and the signatures of the CEOs of the business, any dates of review. This policy should be reviewed now and again and adjusted with time, and health and safety shall not be compromised. Is that okay? Those things should be mentioned in the health and safety policy, and the responsibilities of employees and the responsibilities of employers. Responsibilities of employees and employers. let me write that. Employers, right. And also it also acknowledges the right of every employee to work under safe and health environment, right? And also these are the guys aspects that should be included there. Just look at them, know a few ones that you can understand, and it's enough. Thank you very much, guys. This is all about health and safety. The next recording that we're going to do is about quality control. Thank you very much.